All right. So what's this? Purchase music.
Paris. City of love, romance, and dreams. So they say. I used to say it too. But ever since that day, the day of the murder, I've always associated my beloved Paris with death.
A lot of memories.
I was at home having a bath when my editor called.
Collard, get your ass over to the Palais Royal now. You got an interview. With Pierre Carchon. Yes, the Pierre Carchon. No photos, so leave your gear at home. He asked for you personally. Don't ask me why. Anyhow, this could be big, so if he makes a pass, don't forget. Just smile, say yes, and keep taking notes.
So charming and so very apt. Pierre Carchon was a media king, a national hero, and one of the most infamous adulterers in Europe. He and his wife Imelda were just one step down from royalty. Whoa, I hate mimes, but unless you humor them, they don't go away. Here I was, the palace of the Media King and the Ice Queen. I pressed the doorbell and set in motion a chain of events which would change my life forever.
Yes? What is it?
Madame, my name is Nico Collard. I'm here to see Monsieur Carchon.
Come up, we're on the first floor.
Madame Carchon, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, I'm sure.
The Ice Queen was certainly living up to her reputation. Will you be staying for the interview?
Mademoiselle, I know little of my husband's business affairs, and I care even less. I certainly have no intention of watching him pore over yet another pretty little journalist.
Pretty. You're too kind, madame.
The plot thickens.
The talented and very beautiful Mademoiselle Collard. Such a pleasure to meet you at last.
Monsieur Carchon, I am honored.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Call me Pierre, please. But I do not flatter you idly. I was a friend of your father. He was a great man.
My father, he never mentioned.
He and I were very close. And then his death. So tragic. I must... Imelda, your damned cat's in my study again. Another Ming vase, I suppose. Excuse me for one moment, my dear girl.
You journalists are getting younger each year.
Perhaps it's the rest of the world getting older, madame. That was no cat. My God, what? Monsieur Carchon!
He's dead. I must call the police. You'd better stay here.
There was a man. It was the mime. Do you think he...
Well, I believe we can rule out suicide, don't you?
No wonder they called her the Ice Queen. She would have been top of my list of suspects. if I hadn't seen the attacker myself. And if I hadn't come across a couple of murders just like this already. One of the most important men in Europe murdered. And here was I, Nico Coulard, alone at the scene of the crime. Should I wait for the cops? Or start my own investigation? It was a no-brainer.
It was a no-brainer. Okay.
Mimes and guns don't usually go together, but I had an idea that this was no ordinary mime. I'd come across this murderer before, and written about him. The costume killer, at least that's what I'd called him. A bust of Pierre Cauchon, humble servant of La France. A small round piece of glass had been cut out of the pane. This was a professional job. I didn't want to cut myself and leave blood on the glass. Call me old-fashioned, but I like to keep my DNA to myself. The bookcase was filled with obscure first editions. Pierre Cauchon again. His eyes seemed to follow me around the room. The killer must have used a ladder to reach the window. He was long gone. Guess he folded that ladder up, popped it in his pocket and took it with him. The police could turn up at any minute. Somewhere there were clues to the murder, and I needed to find them. The door was locked. I reckoned that cloth might just turn out to be useful. Even my fingernail wouldn't fit into such a small hole.
Find something small then.
It was a tube of acrylic paint. French ultramarine. Just the color I was after for my bathroom.
I'm sorry, I have to go. Someone is...
Young lady, what are you doing? Oh, this paint. It's my favorite color.
For God's sake, keep the damn stuff.
Merci beaucoup.
Imelda had talent, but I certainly wasn't going to tell her that. Excuse me, madame.
Yes?
I am so sorry for your loss, madame.
No, you're not. You're a journalist. Journalists don't feel sorry.
Not true.
We shall see.
How did your husband know my father?
I have no idea.
You didn't know him? Thierry Collard?
Pierre knew a lot of people I didn't know, most of them women.
Why would a mime want to kill your husband?
Pierre had plenty of enemies. Half the husbands in Paris for a start.
Why did your husband send for me? What did he want to discuss?
I have no idea. His business was his business.
He never told you anything.
No, and frankly, I preferred it that way. This is quite a scoop for you. I suppose you're already inventing the headlines.
Just because I am a journalist.
Don't patronize me. You're all cut from the same cloth. Do you have any moral sense at all?
Yes, that's why I do this job.
You do it to see your name in print.
As if. My editor gets the byline, I just do the work.
Well, don't expect my sympathy.
The police will be here soon, madame. Is there anybody you would like me to contact? Family, friends?
No, I have no family. Pierre and I were... He was all I had, really. Not much, was it? The dutiful wife. That was my role. He never talked, never let me in.
I know one thing, madame.
What?
If you want to find out who killed your husband, then you let me do the job, not the police.
Why? How do I know I can trust you?
Because you have no choice. The police will take weeks, in which time your own life may be in danger.
What?
Believe me, this killer has struck before, and he will strike again. Who is to know that you are not next on his list?
I don't know.
All I need is a few more minutes to look around before the police come.
You really do have a moral sense, don't you? I trust so few people, and I share your low opinion of the police. Here, take this. It's the key to the drawing room next to the library at the end of the hall. It was Pierre's room. I rarely went in there. I couldn't. I was too scared of what I might find.
Thank you. I promise you won't regret this. It wouldn't fit. It wouldn't fit.
A magnificent antique table.
The door was locked. Now we were getting somewhere. I didn't need the lights on. It was light enough already. The painting showed the Cachons together, in love. As the poet said, the past is a different country. Or did I read that in a fortune cookie? There was the very faintest of clicks. Even my fingernail wouldn't fit into such a small hole. As expected, the desk was yet another priceless antique. Yawn. The blotter and in tray had clearly been placed with mathematical precision. I didn't need a sheet of blotting paper. Not while it was blank. My heart skipped a beat. It was a carved elephant. But not just any carved elephant. It had been made by my father. I knew for certain because in my apartment I had its exact twin, carved into a box he had made. So Carchon had known my father. They really must have been friends. I decided to take the carved elephant. It clearly meant nothing to Imelda. I didn't want to take the tray, but I knew that I could use it. This wasn't the time for me to lie on the sofa doing my Marie Antoinette impression. Though it is very popular at parties, especially with gay guys. Don't ask me why. Locked, not surprising. I didn't need the light.
Maybe I opened something in here when I flipped the painting.
A bust of Pierre Carchon. A bust of Pierre Carchon. It contained rows of titles I didn't recognize. Behind the picture was a safe. The safe was locked. I needed the key. I didn't want to take the tray, but I knew that I could use it. I didn't need a It was the beautiful elephant my father had carved. The tube of paint from Imelda's easel, French ultramarine. The cloth was embroidered with an unusual symbol. Even the light switch looked impressive.
Did you find anything useful?
This carving, do you know anything about it?
It was Pierre's. What does the statue have to do with...
Please, I need to know.
He was given it by a friend. Something to do with Africa.
He never explained any more.
No. But I think it was important to him. Always on display. Why?
It was carved by my father.
Oh, I see. I didn't know.
Just one thing. I know this is going to sound strange, but did your husband ever mention... Did he ever talk to you about a penguin? Or a snowman?
What? I don't understand.
He never mentioned people dressed up as penguins.
Nico, I don't know what you're talking. My dear, you should go before the police arrive. There will be many awkward questions. I am grateful that you stayed. You've been so kind.
Please, call if there is anything I can do.
I'd misjudged her. She had every reason to be bitter, living with a guy like Carchon. From the sound of it, no one and nothing was safe around him.
Maybe I should have interrogated the cat after all.
There was no one I needed to phone. Not until I had solved this case. I thought of leaving, but was sure there was more to find. Imelda had talent, but I said...
A medieval pageant. Original, no doubt. The tapestry must have cost a fortune.
Pierre Carchon was stiff for the last time.
There you go.
It was one of my hair clips. My favorite, in fact. It must have fallen when I was knocked down. Some people hate searching corpses for clues. Me, I'm okay with it. Reminds me of an old boyfriend. In his pocket, I found a ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. Taking the ticket meant I tampered with the evidence. There was no going back now. Carchon had been shot. I closed his eyes. It was the least I could do for the poor fellow. A magnificent antique table. Aha! Nico, you are just so damn good at this stuff. Instead of comforting Imelda, I was ransacking her flat. Why? Because there was something going on here, and I had to get answers before the cops arrived. And hey, she'd been rude to me, so she had it coming. In the safe was some kind of artifact. There were strange symbols on its surface. It looked like the printer's blocks I'd made at art school. If there was one thing I'd learned about symbols, they are always important. But these symbols scratched into stone were impossible to read. I needed to find a way of printing them. At least the stone was round. But what could I use for ink? And what could I print on? Sure, I was stealing, but I knew Imelda didn't know about the artifact, and Carchon was past caring.
There we go.
The paint would have just soaked into the blotting paper, but the idea was...
I'd spread blue paint over the bottom of the tray. It was ruined. I was a very bad girl, but also quite a clever one.
I rolled the artifact in the paint until it was completely coated. An antique tray with paint spread all over it. Not a lot I could do with that. I didn't need a sheet of blotting paper. Not while it was blank. No. No.
Of course.
Genius! The roller and the paint worked just as I planned. But what did it say? It was some kind of coded message. It read, "Sub judice." I may not have learned a lot as a journalist, but that was a term I knew well. It means a legal case that is before the courts. Below it was a sequence of letters that made no sense. I suddenly realized there was a connection between the boat ticket and the coded message. The boat ticket was stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. The Conciergerie on the Ile de la Cité, by the river, housed the ancient law courts. So, sub judice could in this case mean literally under the law courts, below the Conciergerie. I was pretty sure I'd found all I could here. And besides, all this opulence was making me pine for my regular life of poverty. This was a huge story. It was also one heck of a puzzle with a lot of pieces missing. But I was going to crack it. And if I could just remember the name of that fancy prize you get for being an ace journalist, I was definitely going to win it this time.
Pulitzer?
Imelda, I will do everything I can to find the killer.
Thank you, my dear.
And if the police ask,
Don't worry. You were never here.
sub judice was the key. I was going to have to find a way under the Conciergerie. I decided to head straight for the quayside on the Ile de la Cité. If there was a way of getting under the Conciergerie, it would have to be from there. Canchon wasn't the type for messing about on the river. He was up to something down here. Something that got him killed. An old boyfriend of mine owned a barge once. Dampest relationship I ever had. In the This fence wouldn't move either. The cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before. It was embroidered on the lace cloth I'd picked up at Carchon's apartment. I knew I was on the right track. I tried pushing the fence, but it wouldn't move. A strange pair of locks stopped the latches from releasing the gate.
Does it reset? Yes. This was a tricky son of a bitch. Key is moving this one. How do I move that one? I have to get rid of one more. I have to get rid of this one. How do I get rid of that one? What the hell? Come on. That does nothing at the moment. Doesn't do anything, doesn't help me. S D S S D S S. S D S S D S S. S D S S D.
It was a boat ticket stamped Bateau de la Conciergerie. When I was a little girl, Papa used to take me on the Bateau Mouche as a treat. Rolling out the painted cylinder had given me a print. It read, Sub Judice. Below it was a sequence of letters, S D S S D S S. The cloth was embroidered with an unusual symbol. It was the beautiful elephant my father had carved. Rolling out the painted cylinder had given me a print of a secret message. It read,
S D S S D S S. Is this started over? I don't know.
Yes. One down, one to go.
Yeah. Almost. Oh, now I'm back.
Så den här från Henry. Det var hilarious.
Ja, jag såg det. Bara smack.
Man trodde ju bara, ja men det gick ju bra så här. Och sen så roligt att de släpper den efter också.
That was close.
Va?
Nej, jag pratar med stream.
Vadå, sitter du och pratar med medan du spelar gitarr? Streamar det? Jaha. Jag syns inte. Var ska du få den?
ska jag kunna dra ut den här hela vägen?
Du måste i alla fall flytta den. Du måste flytta den mer.
Ah shit, broken sword. Yeah, I'm doing a marathon until I can play Nier. And when I've played Nier, I'll come back to Broken Sword. I'm gonna play them all.
Den här måste du få bort, för den får inte plats uppåt. För då kommer du inte ditåt. Även om du får bort den där så kommer den vara i vägen. Så han måste ner här så du ska få bort dem.
Alltså det är inget att förklara vad som måste göras. Jag vet vad som måste göras. Men hur gör man det?
Ja, men kan man tänka lite?
Det är som är pusslet.
Nej. Ja, nej.
Pissing me off. I was so close just to try go. This has got to go.
Du bara drar som en ring ut på tänka och tänk. Du kan inte hjälpa det.
Scarrow, yeah.
Jag hade en idé, men nu förstörde du det.
god. It's a piece of shit. This block puzzle, man. I got the left one, but this right side is kicking my ass. Feels like I'm doing the same thing all over again.
Du vill inte testa min teori? Har du testat det redan? Jag tror inte du har testat det. Som jag sa. Hur du? Hade du testat det som jag sa?
Huh? Vad sa du?
Jag sa, har du testat det som jag sa? Eller har
Vad
du,
sa du?
har du inte ens hört någonting?
Nej, jag hörde inte vad du sa.
Nej, så jag bara, han ignorerar mig. Du sa ju att du skulle ignorera.
Jag har inte hört något. Nej.
Rör inte om, för du var säker på det. Men inte den. Ja, sen gäller det. Så där är det. Den kanske. Där.
Hä?
Nej, jag bara tänker.
Yeah, I was so. I mean, I know I've been like super close. Vad gjorde jag nu? Vad gjorde jag fel? This fucking game.
Men jag tänkte på en sak. Kan du inte... Ja. Jo. Dra upp den där. Och så fortsätt med den. Och så... Det är säkert en kuggis. Det ska inte gå att förklara.
Nej, man ska fastna.
Det blir svårt för mig att hjälpa upp utan
Ja, skit.
jag vill se.
God damn it. It's fucking bullshit, man.
Det är jag.
Mm?
Det är jag tänkte.
Mm. Mm.
Ta fram den där. Och sen är det... Och den andra. Sen så...
Nej men jag vill inte. Du får gå bort. Jag orkar inte. Jag kan inte tänka.
Inte jag heller.
Nej.
Och jag får typ testa att göra.
Nej, det får jag inte.
Nej.
Du får spela själv. Men jag blir skitstressad. Jag orkar inte höra så här. Samtidigt.
Okej, jag säger ingenting för jag sitter och tittar av.
It's like I should have stumbled across it by now. Seriously.
Nothing like a good convent education for honing your lockpicking skills.
Thing is, it's about the how you can also move the
For a
lock.
room full of junk, that was one very sophisticated lock system. This place was definitely fishy, in more ways than one.
Yeah, I played one Broken Sword before. It was on PlayStation. I
Oops.
think it was 2 or 3. Yeah, I got it.
An old shell case. I wondered what that was doing there.
Aha.
The brass case was smooth and perfectly round.
And perfectly round.
The words sinister and Dexter were carved on either side. Now any good convent girl like me knows the old Roman for left, right, left, right. But what did it mean
SD.
here?
SD.
The hole was too small even for my little hand.
Okay, what did did that say? It said
Rolling out the painted cylinder had given it
SDSSDSS.
Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
I'm supposed to put something there, yes.
No handle. Nothing of.
Did I read it right? SDSSDSS. S?
Nothing happened.
D?
Nothing happened.
I think I'm gonna need something.
I couldn't. Moving the skiff would only damage it more. I really didn't want to pull the fence back up and
I know the sequence, but there you go.
Mystery solved. Carchon's stone cylinder with a satisfying click.
S
As
D
another.
S S D S S.
I love the sound of locks clicking open.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh my god! The slab came down with a hell of a force. With nothing to hold it up, the cross. If I was lifting the cross closed the entrance door, and also opened some kind.
There you go.
The stone cross was propped up. Now I was getting somewhere. I touched the slot. Nothing bad happened, which was good. I've always been attached to my fingers. This slot was designed for something specific. But what? I removed the shell case.
But what?
This wouldn't hold the cross up. But I was on. I needed to use. This wouldn't hold the cross. I needed.
Why won't it let me even try? Yeah, okay, so it's probably this.
No way would I be able to force. I touched the slot, which was good. This slot was designed for something.
Something specific. But what?
I touched, which was this.
Oh shit. What might fit into the hole that was revealed when the stone panel slid across? Yeah, what might? Idiot. I'm an idiot.
I removed the.
I feel dumb. I'm sorry.
I removed. I touched the slot, which was this slot. The artifacts behind the old walls. But whatever had been. The gap was too thin for me to get a grip. I needed something thin enough to prise the door open.
Okay, so what do I need now?
I was. I removed the. The cross didn't drop back down. The cross didn't drop back down. Some kind of mechanism was holding it up. The gap was too narrow. I needed something flatter to.
What did she say?
I was going to need something a lot stronger than a hex.
Okay, so what happens now? Something stronger but flatter.
I removed. The gap was too thin for me to get a grip. I needed something thin enough to prise the door open.
Screw you.
I wasn't leaving yet.
Something flat and sturdy.
The cross looked familiar. Moving the skiff would... The panel wouldn't move. The slab was too heavy for me to...
Really bad thing is if I'm gonna look at the hints, they're gonna go like, is there something you can use to pry the door open? Like, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And then the second hint is gonna tell me exactly what to do. Which sucks.
I removed the... The cross didn't drop back down.
How could it be flattened?
The cross didn't need to be propped up.
That's pretty smart.
The stone slab had flattened when it... I removed the shell case.
That opened it. Okay.
Another good use for a shell case. Another secret room. Somebody had something to hide. But was it what I was looking for? Wow. Through the darkness, I could see that this was a stateroom. But for what purpose? And how did it tie in with Carchon?
First of all, what was that blinking?
Amazing. I wasn't going to find anything in this old desk. It hadn't been used for years. Inside the drawer, I found a note written in some kind of code. It was pretty clear from the lack of dust that someone had been working very recently at this desk. Oh my God! The sheet was a printout with my personal information. Everything from my favorite food to my waist size. They were right about chocolate. But come on, guys, I'm a size 10. There was even a picture of me, taken with a telephoto lens. Carchon wouldn't have taken these pictures himself. This was big. And organized. I was part of it. And people were getting murdered. This was the article I'd written about the costume killer. My suspicions were right. Carchon had cut it out. 2 businessmen had been killed. One in Italy, one in Japan. In each case the killer had worn a costume. A penguin, and then a snowman. But that wasn't the only link between the 2 murders. Both the victims had been big media do-gooders, and I proved they were just the opposite. So, how did they fit in with Carchon? The dregs at the bottom of the mug hadn't dried out or gone moldy. It wasn't more than a day old. One thing was clear. Someone connected to Carchon had been watching me.
I'm not supposed to know if it's right. Ewama. supposed to know if this is right or not? Idiot. Let's try that. No, it can't be I. That's N. Not F. T. D. A. D. If not that's an E. That's an H. This is supposed to be an S. That's an L. just try D for that one. Coincidence. That's an L. To G R S. Oh, the S is wrong. That's a U. P. W's. Pierre. Full report to follow. But this is too urgent to wait. Arnaud and Kamada. Samada. Jamada. Okay, that's K. Pierre Garçon. Jamada. Olj. Oh, Yamada. That's a Japanese guy, right? In July.
I had decrypted the note. It read, Pierre, full report to follow. But this is too urgent to wait. Arno and Yamada both dead. This is not a coincidence. Indeed, it seems that all of us who came together in July are in danger. Take great care. X. I wasn't the only one to make the connection between the costume killer murders. I'd been right all along. That was why he had asked to meet me. But what did I know that he didn't?
Needed the other elephant.
It was the beautiful elephant. The flags had faded, but their message was still pretty clear. Fascist regalia, a message of hate. No way would I. I wasn't leaving yet. I removed the
It's all about that camera angles, huh?
That wasn't going to help. A door like that always has something important behind it. I had to find a way to unlock it. That wasn't going to help. The flags had faded. Fascist regalia. The flag. One thing was clear. My articles about the costume killer. The congealed coffee wasn't appealing. My art. One thing was clear. Damn, don't you just hate it when that happens? A photo, long lost, had fallen down the back of the drawer. It was very old, but there was no mistaking the guy in the foreground. Carchon. Behind him were soldiers, a burning village, and a corpse. The photograph was cropped on the right-hand side. Somebody else in the picture obviously didn't want to be in it anymore. I wasn't surprised. This was Africa in the 60s. An uprising was being brutally suppressed. And here was Mr. Media himself, Carchon, doing the suppressing. The photograph was not just powerful evidence. It was also my ticket to one explosive story. I had enough for a story. An amazing story that was going to make my reputation and blow Carchon's to pieces. I needed to get home fast and start typing.
Bonsoir, Collard.
Nico, it's Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie, you cracked open the champagne yet?
Are you crazy?
What's wrong? Wait a minute. You didn't print it, did you?
Of course I didn't print.
That's the best piece I've written.
The last, as far as I'm concerned.
It's important.
It's suicidal. You can't destroy a national hero.
He deserved it.
His corpse isn't even cold.
Ronnie, 2 hours ago I told you what I'd found. You loved it. You begged me to write it up immediately.
2 hours is a long time in newspapers, Nico.
Someone's got to you, haven't they?
Listen up, Nicole, and listen good. Pierre Carchon had a lot of friends. Powerful friends. For your own sake.
Forget what happened.
You got it. End of conversation. Good night.
This should have been my big break, but I knew there was nowhere else to sell this story. If Ronnie wouldn't print it, nobody would.
Bonsoir, Collard.
Mademoiselle Collard, my name is Plantard. I need to talk to you about your story. Your Pierre Carchon story.
How did you know about that?
There are people out there, madame, who will be very upset by this story.
Oh, really? Well, it's their lucky day. It's been spiked.
Yes, I know. We must meet.
We must?
I have information relating to your costume killer stories. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., Café de la Chandelle Verte, Rue Alain Court. I shall be wearing a grey overcoat. You must talk to no one about this.
You can't tell me what to...
Tomorrow at 8. I'll be waiting.
Kid the kid.
People complain about newspaper articles all the time, but not usually before they're printed. I was beginning to feel scared. This guy, Plantard, could I trust him? Should I meet him or forget the whole business? I didn't have an answer.
I'd only been in Paris for a week, but already I'd fallen in love with the city. My latest discovery was a little cafe, La Chandelle Verte. I was pretty sure the waitress was taking a shine to me. That old Stobart charm, I guess. Little did I know my reverie was about to be so rudely interrupted. As I picked myself up, I was really angry. 1 minute I'm on vacation, the next minute some clown's blown me up. I knew right away what I was gonna do. I was gonna find that clown and bring him to justice. Because justice matters. Justice is up there with liberty, and equality, and, fraternity. After all, that's why I'd studied law, wasn't it? Well, that and the money, of course.
I needed a stiff drink, but I hated the taste of brandy.
Oh, my head. Never again. How much vodka did I drink? Oh, no, don't tell me. What is your name, Sherry?
George Stobart, ma'am. You look like you could use a little help.
I could use a little drink. I feel sick, dizzy, and bruised. I don't even remember the party.
Just relax and take it easy. You've been knocked out.
You don't say. What happened?
There's been an explosion. You should try not to move.
Are you a doctor?
Yes, I am. I studied under Dr. Benton.
Who is he?
Only one of the most brilliant medical minds on this planet. He taught me everything I know about medicine. Can you remember anything at all?
No. I need a drink. Pour me a brandy.
You could be in shock. No alcohol.
Okay, you're the doctor. What about the old man? Is he dead?
I don't know. I haven't looked at him yet. Did you know the old man?
No, monsieur. I never saw him before.
Do you remember what happened when the clown entered?
I remember that horrible tune he played all right. It was like a funeral dirge.
I'd never liked accordion music either. How did the old man behave?
Well, agitated. He kept looking about him at the door, at his watch.
As if he was waiting for someone?
Yes, I suppose so. He was worried about something, that's for sure. If you ask me, he was having an affair. He had that look about him, like a guilty husband.
Did the clown speak to the old man?
No, he just laughed at him. Then he grabbed the old man's briefcase and ran out of the door.
Did you see what the old man had in his briefcase?
No, he didn't open it.
What did the old man do when the clown snatched his briefcase?
Nothing. He just sat there like he was frozen.
Did the old man try to stop the clown?
Oh, he didn't have a chance. The clown dropped his accordion and ran out of the door. That's it. That's all I can remember.
Stay here, mademoiselle. I'm going to look around for evidence.
I hope the fact that the mirror was already broken meant I'd escaped the bad luck. The mirror had smashed into 1,000 pieces. Bad luck for someone. Poor guy. He was pretty mashed up. He was pretty mashed up.
The sight of the dead guy's staring eyes turned my knees to jelly. I tried not to meet his stare as I searched the dead man's pockets. No wallet, no papers, no credit cards. The guy's past was a blank page.
The mirror had smashed into a... Poor guy.
I needed a stiff drink, but I hated the taste of brandy. Stay here, mademoiselle. I'm... I considered straightening the table, but I figured it best not to disturb the evidence. I noticed the writing at the foot of the page. It read, Salah Eddin, 1345.
The big story was about the brutal murder of a French media magnate, shot down in cold blood.
The guy oozed confidence, like a regular French statesman. The leading article referred to the visit of a Nobel Prize winner from some unpronounceable Eastern European state. The column was devoted exclusively to rumor, gossip, and sensationalism.
Freeze! Hold it, right there.
Whoa, don't shoot. I'm innocent. I'm an American.
Can't make up your mind, huh?
I demand to see the American consul.
Drop your weapons and get down on the ground.
Put that thing away, Sergeant Mu. I apologize, monsieur, but I cannot permit you to leave.
Am I under arrest?
Ah, no. I would simply like to ask you some questions. En avant, to the café. Marche. What a mess. This bombing is an outrage, is it not?
Stop that, monsieur.
Has it occurred to you that he may be dead, Mu?
Oui, monsieur. But I prefer to look on the bright side. Besides, I recall a case where the killer escaped by feigning death. However, in this case, the man is quite dead.
Examine the girl and take her statement, if you can. Et maintenant, to business. Your name, please?
George Stobart. I'm from California.
And what brings you to Paris, Monsieur Stobart?
Travel. I'm touring Europe.
You chose well. The city is most beautiful at this time of year, no?
Yeah, I guess so, apart from the bomb blasts.
Were you in the vicinity of the cafe at the time of the explosion?
Yeah, I was sitting out on the sidewalk. I was lucky I wasn't killed. The inspector passed over my remark with no reaction.
Did you see the deceased enter the cafe?
Yes, I did.
Was he alone?
Yeah.
And did he say anything to you?
No. He was more interested in the waitress.
Did you see anyone else in the cafe?
Yeah, there was a guy dressed as a clown. He was carrying an accordion.
An accordion? Bon. The picture is forming in my mind, and it is not a pretty one. Is the girl all right, Mu?
She'll live. She confirms the doctor's statement.
Oui? You did not tell me you are a doctor, monsieur?
No, that's right. I didn't think it was relevant.
Eh bien, I have heard enough.
What do you mean?
I am satisfied that you know nothing. You may leave. Enjoy your vacation, Dr. Stobart.
What about my personal safety? Can't you at least give me some advice?
What can I say? Stay alert and look out for suspicious characters.
And don't cross the road until the little man shows green.
Great advice.
I honestly believe you are in no danger, monsieur. Should you remember anything of importance, please contact me. My card.
Thanks.
That is all. You may go.
There's not much to go on, monsieur.
On the surface, no. But what lurks inside the subconscious? If the door can only be opened.
Are you serious, monsieur? I thought your interest in psychic detection was purely academic.
Excuse me, mademoiselle? Hi. My name's George Stobart.
Oh, an American by the sound of it.
Yep, that's right. On vacation in Paris. Some vacation, huh?
You were here when the bomb went off?
Sure was. Sat right out in front of the cafe.
Did you notice a middle-aged man, maybe 60, with a hat and overcoat?
I couldn't believe it. She hadn't even asked how I was feeling. Yeah, he went inside just before the bomb exploded. You weren't related to him, were you?
Oh, no, nothing like that. I'm Nicole Collard from La Liberté.
What is that, some kind of nightclub?
Oh, no, it's a newspaper.
You're a reporter?
I'm a freelance photojournalist.
Say, You could interview me about the bombing. An eyewitness account, minutes after the outrage that shook the whole of Paris. You know, real-life drama, human interest, that kind of stuff.
I'll just stick to the facts, thank you. Did you see who planted the bomb?
I know it sounds crazy, but he was dressed like a clown.
A clown? It's him again.
I found this newspaper outside the cafe.
That is not a newspaper, it's a gossip rag.
There's something written in it. Salah Eddin, 1345.
It sounds like a betting tip. The name of the horse and the time of the race. What do you think?
I don't think it is. That's too obvious. I wouldn't mind betting. This is a coded message.
It's a romantic notion, but I don't think so.
Have you met the clown before?
It's a long story.
I have plenty of time.
I don't.
Do you know a police officer called Rosso?
Rosso? Our paths have a knack of crossing. If I didn't know better, I'd say it was deliberate. Have you seen Rosso? Is he here?
He's inside, attempting to question a witness with his psychic powers.
That guy is weird.
Yeah.
Look, the inspector gave me his card.
Oh, I didn't know his first name was Augustin. It suits him, I must say.
Who was the guy you were supposed to meet?
His name was Plantard. I didn't know him, but he called me last night. He said he had a story which would interest me. He asked me to meet him at the cafe. I guess I'll never know what he wanted to tell me.
Well, not unless you have Rosso's gift for psychic interrogation. Why won't you tell me about the clown?
Why do you want to get involved?
Because he almost killed me. Isn't that reason enough?
I guess so. Listen, I'll give you my phone number. You help me with my story and I'll let you in on what I know. And let's get one thing straight right now. This is strictly business.
Okay, it's a deal.
I have to go develop these pictures. À bientôt, monsieur.
Fine. I'll see you soon.
Hey, you!
I thought you'd been arrested.
No, it was a misunderstanding.
When he pulled that gun, gah, I thought that was it. Those automatics pack quite a punch, you know?
He made a mistake. He thought I was a terrorist.
You? A terrorist? Ha!
He was only doing his duty, I guess. Did you see a clown come by this way?
A clown? Like in a circus?
Yeah, with makeup and a big red nose.
Oh, those guys are funny, aren't they?
Not in my experience.
I love the circus, especially the horses.
You haven't answered my question. Have you seen a clown?
You think I've got time to watch everyone who passes by? Some of us have to work for a living.
Would you like to read my newspaper?
I haven't got time to read that. Can't you see I'm busy?
You could read it on your lunch break.
10 minutes is all I get. And if my boss had his way, I wouldn't get that. He'd have me on a drip, so I didn't have to stop to eat.
Oh, take the newspaper and quit complaining.
Ah, look at this. Damn bleeding heart liberals. Tcha! Save the dolphins. Catch them and eat them, I say. All that fuss over a bunch of fish. Nah, that's more like it. Look at the size of those. Like champagne bottle corks, no? Ah, what's this? Salah-Eddin running in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe.
It's a racehorse?
A horse? A legend. Bucephalus reborn, mon ami. Like a streak of lightning she is. Do me a favor, won't you? Keep an eye on my hole. I'm off to put some money on that nag.
What about your toolbox?
Stuff it. Help yourself.
I found a T-shaped tool in the box. I didn't know what it was, but it looked useful.
Hello, Nico Coulard.
Hello? It's George.
Oh, hi.
Well, I haven't had a lot of luck.
You found nothing?
No.
Look, I'm very busy right now. Call me if you have any news, okay?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Adieu, monsieur.
See you.
Set into the huge gate was a smaller access door. The door was securely locked.
The clown had fled into this alley, but there was no sign of him now. I was intrigued by Nico and what she could tell me about the explosion.
I took a deep breath and prepared to climb the drainpipe. I guess the clown had an escape over the rooftops. It smelled like someone had dumped a truckload of fish in a locker room on a hot summer afternoon. There was nothing of interest. The cover was too heavy and awkward to lift with my bare hands. I lifted the cover to reveal what smelt like the entrance to a sewer.
see you guys tomorrow.